Not sure if anyone can hear me, but I guess we're starting the live outside. Kasi we were a little bit late coming home. So we're still trying to it's okay. Okay. We're still trying to get home. But I wanted to start the live because it's very nice weather outside and I just moved. So we're being out and about all the time. And I wanted to do this live like on time at least because I haven't done this live in a while. But definitely welcome. And we're gonna talk about cost of living this week. And I feel like that's very important. And it gives a little bit more perspective now that I'm living in another city aside from Barcelona. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. But definitely welcome to this week's live. You know, it's a bit weird because I'm outside, but I think it's better than starting the live a little bit late. So we're still going home. Say we went to buy some new sheets and electric fan because we're having people over tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure they're a little bit comfortable in the new apartment. So shout out to the person carrying everything. Ayun. But welcome guys. And no, it's a little bit weird. But I hope hindi OA sa pangit yung audio. It's actually good, the new apartment, since a lot of people are asking about that. We got the apartment for 800 euros. It's 2 bedroom. It's pretty big, actually. Um, Bigger than our apartment in Barcelona anyways. That was also 2 bedroom. Pero mas malaki to. And the location is really great. It's near like everything, which is so weird. Kasi sobrang lapit niya sa lahat. Like kahit kami, medyo hindi makapaniwala kasi our flat in Barcelona was already very good yung location. So, we're surprised that this is like so much better, to be honest, for the price. And we got it, I would say, like after probably a month of flat hunting. So, it was really, not I would say na hindi siya stressful. It was definitely stressful to find the apartment and all that. Pero it's not as bad. Yeah, give me 1 second. Yan. Tapos, Sorry. Had to stop. We had to pause the live because we didn't want you guys to know where I live. Exactly. But welcome ulit. So I'm trying to get home kasi we were late sa live and we were carrying a lot of stuff. Kasi kasi bagong lipat. So ang dami namin kailangan bilhin. So, ayan. Sorry naman hingal kasi daming stairs dito sa new apartment. It's like 3 flights of stairs, which is a good exercise, pero not that good for my mental health. Job. There you go. Ayan. Uwi na kami. So, ayun. In one second. Just leave some stuff around. But, there's a new thing, by the way. With regards sa mga applications coming around here, especially very soon. Kasi parang not necessarily bagong implement, but on full rollout na yung EES, which is the entry-exit system. So, ang dami nagtatanong sa akin. Like, kahit before the live, if how it will change, basically, yung application and stuff like that. Yay! Ayan. So, this is our new background. Hindi ko pa naayos yung work table ko. So, it's a little bit bland. Doesn't have much stuff in it. But, so for now, we get to look at our living room muna. Can you guys hear me? Wala namang problema, no? Sa pagdinig. Okay, good. Ayun. Finally, we're home. And we're back. Grabe. Ang hinihingal. But, ayun. Welcome, everyone, to this week's live. No, I look a little bit disheveled than usual. But welcome, and we're gonna start this by basically telling you guys I moved out of Barcelona because I know a lot of people are like interested where we're staying at right now, and I've posted now we've moved to Alicante or traveled to Alicante. So we've moved to Alicante now, so it's going really well. I think it's paano ba siya i-explain? Parang definitely a different vibe than Barcelona. We've been here before, so we've like visited it a couple of times before deciding na this is where we wanna stay. A little bit long term. It was not like planned yung move. It was a little bit out of the blue, to be honest. Na we knew we were gonna move, but we didn't know it was gonna be like now. Kasi yung building namin, sobrang mura nung rent namin before. So for us, we didn't want to leave it, or at least we were dragging our feet leaving the old apartment. But some things, I guess, aligned in the universe, and we had to move. But we've been loving it here. A lot of people were saying na mainit daw sa Alicante. Yun yung parang main, parang ano ng mga tao, like worry. But so far, I don't see, the sun here is definitely stronger, I would say. But it's not like necessarily mainit. Kasi sobrang, kahit yung mga dito, lalo dito sa loob ng bahay, ang lamig pa din niya. And not only that, parang ang windy. Not sure it's because mataas din yung building namin. But it's been really nice to just start fresh. Ganon. I know we've decided to talk about the cost of living, which I feel is very
in theme for this big move that we just did. So I wanted to do a little bit of a refresher about that topic. So first and foremost, a lot of people always ask like, how much yung rent and how much ba yung i-expect, ganyan. Well, the thing is, it varies from city to city. For major cities like Barcelona, Madrid, you are expected to pay higher than 1,000 euros for like a one bedroom apartment. Like, parang given na yun. Like, it's rare to find something s- lower than that. One bedrooms are very rare, by the way, here in Spain. Usually there's studios. So the one bedroom in itself is very cheap. So I would suggest aiming for two bedrooms. If you want a separate bedroom talaga, aim ka na ng two bedrooms. Kasi yung one bedroom dito sobrang rare niyang hanapin. Usually two bedrooms for Barcelona and Madrid would probably be higher than like around 1,200 ganon. Which is not that far from 1,000 for a one bedroom. But of course, if you're looking at medium cities like Valencia, Malaga, yung mga ganyan, definitely it's a bit lower. But for two bedroom, I don't think makakahanap ka ng anything lower than around 900 euros. Kasi yung mga cities na din na yon, nagiging malaking city na din siya. Lalo if maraming mga expats, immigrants, foreigners. It becomes a little bit more expensive than, let's say, for example, Alicante, Salamanca, may Guadalajara, Zaragoza, which here for two bedrooms, you can find probably around 700 euros. Itong apartment namin is 800 euros, but it's fully like newly renovated. Kompleto siya ng appliances. Probably ang wala lang kami is electric fan, mga ganon. But it's definitely new. Kahit paglabas mo actually nung building namin, yung mga blinds namin and windows are very much bago yung itsura from the rest of the, ano yun, the rest of the other floors. So, I think ito talagang unit namin is medyo bago-bago siya. So, that's why it was also 800. Kasi with my other friends, they were able to find like 700, ganyan. Not maybe as new as this one, but it's also like as big as this one, ganon. And ang maganda kasi dito sa Spain, andito na yung mga furniture and appliances. So, meron ng oven, meron ng stovetop, meron na kaming fridge, meron na kaming parang kitchen table and all that. And meron na kaming mga sofa. Ito mga sofa na to, yung TV rack, yung mga big drawers and closets. Kasama na yan yung bed itself, yung mattress. So, kasama na yung mga yon. So, hindi na namin kailangang dalhin yung mga yon from Barcelona, which was really helpful kasi Barcelona is a bit far from Alicante. Let's read some of the questions here. Kung wala po bang degree na natapos, paano po yun mag-apply sa DNV? So, it's either a degree that's related to what you're working as right now. So, for example, kung bookkeeper ka, pwedeng BS Accountancy, ganon, or Business Financial Management, ganon. If wala kang diploma, like me, then you can go the 3 years work experience. But that means you need to have 3 years of documented work experience in your field. So in my case, my client then, more than 4 or 5 years na kami. So I showed my old contract, the amendments in my contract throughout the years, and then yung COE ko, and then they just added a remote work authorization at the end. So that's the way they confirmed my 3 years work experience. So hindi ko na kailangan kumuha ng COE from my old companies, technically speaking. But I had COEs from my old companies, so I just showed that as well. But definitely, kung hindi ito yung company mo right now, then you need the COE from your old company spanning nung 3 years. I would go a little bit, maybe 4 years, para as much as possible maganda yung documents mo pag ipepresent mo sila. Ngayon, there are some speculations and consultants na nagsasabi na kailangan daw ng ITR, income tax return. Well, the thing is, we've had clients that have a similar profile as me. Wala silang diploma. So we've had a lot of those clients. So far, wala pa namang hinahanapan ng income tax return, but we were able to show yung SSS nila from back when they were working in corporate, tas pina-activate ko lang sila like recently. So ang nakalagay doon na date of registration nila sa SSS, yung pinakauna nilang work. So it matches with their CV. So that's really helpful in showing a governmental document that shows yung work experience mo. Ayun, I hope that helped. Other than that, Valencia po ba, what do you think? Valencia is really good. A lot of my clients live there. A lot of my clients are planning to live there. For me, I really wanted Alicante kasi. So Alicante is nearby Valencia. So a lot of people were also telling me like why I didn't move to Valencia because I didn't have much friends there. And Valencia kasi is becoming a big city na din. Like parang kind of comparing to like Madrid and stuff. But so parang ganun na yung prices niya, but not as the easeability and transportation and stuff of Madrid. So I don't want to pay that amount, and I've always wanted to live near the beach kasi. So ayun, yun yung bio ko sa Instagram ever since. Ayun, so may nabalitaan na po ba kayo na may citizen na sa DNV? So we submitted actually 5 citizenship applications in Athens, Spain, because these people I just did for free because I didn't process my my citizenship application yet, and they wanted to just like have kind of a second set of eyes, and they wanted to like give me a price, whatever. But I was like, you know me, guys. In a sense, this is a passion project for me. And I was like, hey, guys, if you want, then I can submit it for free. Let's collaborate on it together na make sure natin kompleto yung documents. Kasi it's pretty much straightforward yung pagpasa. Kasi online lang din siya eh. Yung parang same site na pinagsasubmitan mo for the UHE application for the DNV. Dun lang din siya. So we did those together and we're still waiting for it. So the oldest one we have is gonna be about 3 months now, but we're doing fingers crossed. I know a lot of people as well online have already submitted. May iba daw na 1 year na nag-wait. But they're anon usually. So sometimes I don't trust anonymous posts kasi I'm like a little bit like, hindi pa rin ako Gen Z. Hindi pa din ako sanay na everyone interacts under, anonymous, ganyan. Other than that, ano po impact ng move niyo sa papers dyan, lalo if goal is citizen? Well, I did have to, of course, bahay, parang the register to my old padron. I'm gonna do that actually at the end of the month. So, babalik ako ng Barcelona just to wrap up some things there. Kasi yung list talaga namin natatapos siya ng end of April. So, the register ako doon. And then, I will register here. I just haven't had that time yet. We literally moved here like a week ago. A lot is happening. Our boxes were late coming in, so we had to call the shipping company. Like it was a whole thing. So I'm still doing that, but definitely it's not gonna be much of a problem. I don't have to replace my tie. I could, but it's not a thing that you have to. I definitely updated my address so I can start receiving my mail here. And I updated my bank as well and my taxes, ganon. So it's just in good stuff to update those because they still use mail boxes here. So as much as possible, you want to be receiving your mail kasi dyan ka nila nino-notify if they cannot reach you via email or via websites, ganon. So that's why you have to download the Mi Ciudadano app. Hi, ate, in Spain, need ba mag 3 years of tax para imbangga sa 3 years experience na ipapasa sa OHE? So, not so far. So, we just talked about that. So far, hindi naman siya like hinahanap-hanap na malala. Pero, may ibang mga consultants sabi nila hinahanap daw. But, I wouldn't advise it until it's something siguro na my clients had or we've had like, experience. Oh my God, mahulog siya. Ayan. Other questions. How do you manage yung first residence mo, mom, upon arrival? So the thing is, I came here with the 1 year digital nomad visa. So I already know I'm gonna be living here for a year. However, I did have my sister-in-law in Barcelona, so that's kind of a plus. So I stayed with them for a while. But ang reco ko sa mga clients ko is that always 100% for the first month or 6 weeks ay actually yung ano ko, mag-Airbnb muna talaga kayo. And then yan yung time nyo na maghanap ng apartment. Para din hindi kayo namamadali. Na yung pinakaunang maibigay sa inyo, eh yun na yung kukunin nyo kaagad. So, yun yung recommendation ko dyan. Hello pa, ate, gusto ko din manirahan sa Spain. Kaso aviation ako nag-work, kaya medyo malabo pa. Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what your full profile is, but definitely there are a lot of visas here in Spain that maybe you can be under in. But since you're working, you cannot go under NLV, ganyan. So definitely you have to do a little bit more research siguro about that. Other than that, okay, how much is your processing fee? So we do have free consultation calls and then we have the emergency calls. So just to differentiate the two, they're basically the same calls. So the free one lang kasi ang daming nagbo-book. And I can only do 6 calls per day, guys. Because I'm still working. I'm still working with my normal client. So and only do 6 calls per day. But if you're okay with paying my hourly rate sa work ko, then I can miss like 1 hour of work and you can do the emergency consultation. And whatever naman yung 40 euros na binayad mo doon, if you're gonna sign up with me, minus naman yun. So the full-on consultation fee from beginning to finish, which is also on the website, it's 579 euros per the main applicant and 149 euros for each dependent. Other than that, ate, we're in Spain. Do you recommend po? Not that I have a recommendation because it definitely varies. You have to do kind of your own research then. But how we did it is, ano yung mga hinahanap namin sa cities na yon. So, ano yung mga parang non-negotiable namin. And then, ano yung budget namin. And then, we had to do like kind of a feasible ba tong budget na to dun sa mga cities na napili namin nung unang round. And then after that, how important is a Filipino community for you? Like may Filipino community ba dun sa place na mga natira? And then for us, it was just Alicante. It was really great for us. And we've visited here before kami nag-decide na, okay, I think we really want to live here. One of our options also is Malaga and there's also Salamanca because a lot of my clients are in Salamanca and I've heard great things there. But I think ang downvote sa akin ng Salamanca is that it's not near a beach, which is something that I'm really personally looking for. So depende talaga siya eh. Kung wala naman pong COE kasi from platform like Fiverr or Upwork nakuha ang client, you need a COE kasi kailangan siyang galing sa company. But if Upwork, ang ginawa namin before is yung parang Upwork certificate. Pinakita din namin. But ang good side kasi doon is that yung client nagbigay din ng parang 3 years work confirmation. So we're not sure if it worked because nagbigay yung client or dahil doon sa Upwork certificate. But the Upwork certificate should be, like strong enough din naman. What I would suggest is pakita mo din yung profile mo doon and bigay mo yung URL link mo and stuff so they can also check that out. Other than that, okay, if I ever become a DNV resident, pwede ko ba skip yung HESTOR? Pwede naman if you want to like pay your own taxes, file for your own taxes, you can. But of course, you have to pay taxes. It doesn't matter if you hire a tax accountant or not, wala namang problema yon. Okay. How much yung nagastos niyo, ma'am? So yeah, we definitely want to talk about that. So we've already talked and covered a little bit about rent. So now we want to do like everyday benchmarks about parang mga everyday binibili. Like groceries, mga ganon. So I do have it listed on here. I would say in Barcelona when we used to live there, probably the biggest sink nung gastos namin is food. We allocated about 25 euros per day for food. And kasama na yon if kakain kami sa labas. So for example, if kakain kami sa labas and 40 euro siya, minus yun for the next week, for the next day's budget. So ganun kami mag-compute. I know it might not work for everyone, but that's how we feel like nakakatipid kami. Ganon. So food was one of our biggest like budget. Parang we do 25 euros per day. And that's for two of us. So that's definitely enough. Pag mag-isa naman ako, hindi naman ganon. And we also have our dog kasi. So I would suggest if may dog kayo, you have to also take that into account. I did a post recently and I'm gonna do another post then about yung pet costs and stuff like that. And I want to do a video then of like my dog's life here in Spain, basically, and how different it is from the Philippines or ano yung mga kapareho sa Philippines, ano yung pros and cons of bringing your pets here. So I really wanted to expound that kasi ang dami din nagtatanong sa akin about, moving my pet here in Spain. But other than that, I would say, besides food, there's also, of course, utilities. For utilities, ang maganda dito sa Spain is hindi siya ganon ka-varied per city. Usually, as long as it's like mga cities na pare-pareho yung temperature. Because of course, nag-vary yung temperature based sa heating usage mo or air conditioning usage. But usually, if pare-pareho halos yung parang temperature, parang pare-pareho din yung konsumo. So, yung konsumo, since we've had a lot of friends here in Alicante, we asked them kung paano yung konsumo nila sa kuryente, sa tubig, ganyan. And you know what's crazy? Dito, parang mas mahal yung tubig kaysa sa kuryente minsan. Me as a person na Pilipinong-Pilipino pa din, araw-araw naliligo, and then you guys can see how much hair I have. And we have to like double cleanse this and stuff. And of course, we have the dog. And the dog, after namin lumabas, everyday naliligo yan kasi katabi namin matulog. So, medyo maano kami sa konsumo sa tubig. And umaabot siya for us almost 30 euros. Parang worst we've had when we've had family come over, it's probably 50 euros. So, yun yung konsumo namin. And sa pagdating sa kuryente, halos I would say if not the same, just a little bit more sa Philippines. So sa Philippines, para akong 24 hours naka-air condition. So probably here hindi ako ganun, but parang same kami ng binabayaran. So parang 6K lagi yung ano ko nun sa duplex where I used to live in. And parang 6K yun per month. And dito parang ganun din. Parang hindi naman siya yung lumalagpas masyado to 100, ganon. Parang minsan 80, minsan 110, mga ganon. So it's not that bad yung utilities anyway for me. And then dito kasi minsan separate yung heating. So parang yung heating either binibigay na siya nung landlord na kasama nung rent kasi medyo mababa lang siya, parang 20 euros kanya. Or bibigyan kayo ng cap. Okay, pag lumampas siya ng 50 euros, yung lampas babayaran nyo. Parang ganon. But for us personally, we haven't lived in a house that we had to use the heater a lot. We also have a heating blanket kasi, heated blanket. And we feel like mas better yun kasi yung hini-heat up mo yung buong bahay. Especially with the houses and how they're set up here in Spain. And to be honest, we haven't lived in a place that's super lamig. Ako lang kasi super lamigin talaga ako. Kaya kailangan ako kahit, I guess you've seen that in the videos. Like, nakalagaw na turtleneck, lagi ako nakapanlamig, ganyan. So that's why also here in Alicante, I was like, oh my God, parang kailangan ko bumili ng medyo mga casual na damit. Kasi yung mga casual na damit ko, naiwanan ko na din siya sa Philippines. And I try to like donate my clothings din kasi na hindi ko masyadong ginagamit. Kasi more than anything, I am a hoarder for cute stuff pero not clothing. Hindi niyo ako mahihila. Magbumili-bili ng mag-ukay ng damit oh my God, I can't. But mag-ukay ng anything else, appliances, ng furniture, I will go. Pero sa damit, I'm not a hoarder ng damit. Kaya paulit-ulit din yung damit ko sa mga video. But other than that, so we deal with groceries, utilities. I would say another part of it is probably kung ano yung mga gusto nyong gawin. So you have to be, well, to be honest with you guys, I've been here kasi in Europe, di ba? So I already kinda know na ano siya, like expensive yung services here because they pay workers a higher minimum wage. So alam ko na medyo mas mahal talaga siya in the Philippines. So think about it this way, if mahilig ka magpa-salon, think about na ang babayaran mo dito for just the normal salons you will find outside is para ka nang nagpa-salon sa mall, which not a lot of people do. I mean, I don't do that. I don't trust salon sa mall. But you get me? Like parang ganun siya kamahal. So you cannot find something na super inexpensive here. Actually, my dad is super happy about my hair kasi sabi niya never daw ako nakapagpahaba ng ganito kahaba na buhok. So I always cut my hair. But ayun. So that's why I don't do much like salon stuff here anymore. Kasi it's not that it's expensive na you cannot, but for me personally, I'm not gonna spend that amount of money for my hair. Like, okay na yung shampoo, conditioner sa akin. Wala nang problema. But other than that, like nails and stuff like that, I used to do, like, to go to places to do my nails. But now I do my nails. So, naasar ako ng mga friends ko that I should probably do a nail salon here in Spain. But yeah, yung mga ganon, mga small stuff kasi that makes us happy, di ba? I think it's important to also talk about it. So it's a little bit expensive here. So I think you need to be ready to sacrifice a little bit of that comfort din. Kasi konti lang, 2 years lang yan. Yung kailangan mong bunuin. Like, let's say 3 years, kasama na yung processing and all that. So 3 years lang yan, kailangan mong bunuin. Tapos okay ka na. Ganon. Like, hindi ka na masyado problema. Pag di ba related yung degree sa current work, need ko pa po ng diploma. Kung hindi related yung degree mo, hindi mo siya magagamit. So that means you need to rely on your 3 years work experience. Anong niche nyo po sa VA industry? I started as a social media manager and then I've transitioned into web development. Income is less than 200K but did not meet that in the previous, is more than 200K but did not meet that in the previous month due to absences. Can we still qualify? I suggest for much straightforward na pag-review ng documents mo, you have to meet it consistently for 3 months, then apply. So, yung mga absences and stuff like that shows instability in your income. So, ang nakikita nila dyan is not necessarily bawal ang hourly or daily na wage, but nakikita nila na, ay, medyo tagilid. Hindi mo na-meet yung minimum income requirement. So, kailangan, before ka mag-apply, dapat na-meet mo yon for 3 months. Hi, Ate Alex. Hi, lovely! Okay. Okay. Their questions. What's the recency of the documents to be submitted? What's the recency? Like, gaano ka-recent yung documents? It varies per document. Anything that comes from the government, I would say safe na kunin mo siya within 3 months. Some of them, 6 months pwede na. Pero kung gusto mo sabay-sabay mo na, within 3 months mo siya iplano, especially if you're DIYing. But for mga documents galing sa employer mo, either meron ka na niyan or yung mga remote work authorization letter, dapat as fresh as possible mo siya makuha. So maybe a month. Ganon. Para for mga things like na hindi nag-expire, like your diploma, your birth certificate, marriage certificate, need lang recent yung apostille. Alicante hits different, super blooming naman. Oh my God, wag mo akong binabola, Ellie, ha? Wag mo akong binabola, te. Nakapagbayad ka na, wala nang discount yun. Ayun. Other than that, oh my God. Salary po ba basis is the gross earnings before tax? Yes. So it's gross. So yung minimum income requirement is before tax allowed yung multiple clients. And ito ay hindi nagva-vary kung peso mo siya nare-receive or euros. Kailangan lang parang yung rough estimation nung conversion. Which is sad lately, by the way, because we've had clients na For the past 6 months, pasok naman yung minimum income requirement nila. Like, walang problema yung pasok ng minimum income requirement. Pero dahil nga dito sa war, dahil dito sa pagbaba ng economy ng Philippines, medyo no, tumatagilid. So, you guys need to watch out for that definitely. Wait lang, kasi parang may nag-iiyakan. Wait. Naiyak sila. Ayun, I'm back. Akala ko naman kung sino na yung nang nangyari dun sa aso ko. Ayun, other than that, puwede na po ba yung combined income sa couples? So far, wala pa talaga. Ano ka ba, the moment that may nakita ko na ano, na nag-apply for that, the moment na in-accept yan, ako yung mauuna dito mag-post, I swear. I try my best mag-post maaga dun sa my Facebook group. Like, right now, today lang yun, yung dating nung client ko na hindi na sila nire-releasean ng declaración de entrada. So, kailangan na boarding pass and stuff yung ipe-present. Talagang nag-post ako kaagad. So, as much as I can, I try to like update you guys. But yung combined, hindi pa talaga siya ina-accept. Other than that, ilang years po preparation nyo bago kayo nakalipat? Not years, probably 6 months. How much po haircut on average? Probably you can find 20 euros na haircut, ganon. Like, pero for us kasi parang full day na yun nakain namin. So parang, like, don't wanna do that. And especially me kasi I don't do much crazy haircuts anyway. I just trim my hair. Parang gusto ko lang yung sinashampoohan ka sa salon. Ang ganun lang yung self-care. So, for me, hindi siya ganun ka-importante. So, I just cut that out of my life. Cut out of my life. So, nagigets ko na bakit pala yung mga tita na OFW, pag uwi sa Pilipinas, nagpapakulay ng buhok, ganyan, papareban. Gets ko na sila ngayon. Ah, anong niche nyo po? Okay, I think I answered that. And then, pwede po ba combined income kahit not married? Hindi pwede yung combined income. So, kailangan yung isa yung main applicant talaga. Anong niche nyo po? Kaya I answered that one. Pwede na po ba? Okay. Okay, ito. For a family of three, which path do you suggest? Apply DNV here in Philippines or in Spain? Unless your papers are straightforward, I wouldn't apply in the Philippines. The most recent one that I've heard na na-approve, and this is someone that's not my client. I don't know this person. It's just someone that shared in the group, which is, I don't know how recently, guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a person with rose-colored glasses talaga. Pero, ewan lang, parang dun sa group, there's like some sketchy people there na I don't trust with information coming from them sometimes. Like, alam mo yun, parang may hidden agenda or something like that. So, medyo na-off lang ako. But they did say they got approved. It's a single applicant that got approved. Neto lang daw. Nag-submit daw siya ng January and then na may additional requirement ng February and then na-approve siya ng March for a single applicant. So maybe you can try sa Philippines if hindi talaga carry yung Spain. Just don't forget, the 1 year doesn't count towards residency and mahirap siyang i-convert to 3 years the moment you arrive here. So medyo mahirap-hirap siyang gawin. What's the usual agreement po for rent? 1 month advance, 1 month deposit? Yes. But a lot of us, especially because we're foreigners, they do ask for an extra security deposit. Or tayo yung nagbabayad ng fianza. Fianza is parang yung sinasubmit nila na deposit sa government. Pwede na po ba yung combined income? May napanood kasi ako na pwede na daw. Unless it's something that they did and they got approved, unless it's something na sila mismo yung nakagawa, I wouldn't rely on it. Kasi wala pa dun sa ano, nag-release recently ng frequently asked questions yung UHE in English and wala pa din dun yun. So, unless there's a written thing somewhere, I don't think we should trust it or Kasi sayang yung pera nyo, guys. If mag-Schengen kayo, pupunta kayo dito, and then hindi pala siya ano, hindi pala yun true, 'di ba? So, unless it's something na na-approve sila and ganun yung ginawa nila, then I would believe in it talaga. Pero if it's something that's just, oh, it's a hearsay, oh, this person said this and this person said this, I wouldn't trust it. And for me kasi, I don't want also my clients to risk that. So I always tell people, if you want to risk that, you have to do it yourself. Kailangan mag-DIY. Andiyan naman yung DIY guide, kompleto na yan, be. And nagre-reply naman ako sa inyo. 'Di ba? So, as much as possible, you have to do it yourself kasi I don't want you to pay me money for a risky endeavor kasi, 'di ba, parang may 50% refund pa ako tapos ang laki ng gastos for migrating and I don't want you guys to make the wrong decision or make the wrong impression, 'di ba? Parang gano'n. Para kasing halfway through, para kang half foot out of the door lagi kung gano'n kalaki yung risk factor, gano'n. Puwede po ba walang ITR but yung self-employed recently lang nag-apply sa SSS upon submission sa OHEP? No, it has to be 3 months na yung proof of self-employed registration mo upon submission. So, it cannot be like pagka-submit mo tsaka ka lang nag-register. Also, the 1 year doesn't count pala. Okay, leaning more to apply in Spain. Yeah, doesn't count. Tas mahirap na ngayon i-convert yung 1 year sa 3 years. Oh my God, muntik na nahulog. Yeah, mahirap siya i-convert pagkarating. So you have to wait for 60 days before the expiration of your 1 year. And who knows in 1 year if meron pa, di ba? Or if ano ka pa, if gano'n. May mga nakatambay doon sa Facebook page na parang ginawang work mag-discourage. Yeah, that's what I mean. And then they started their own consultancy and their own group. And then a client, actually multiple clients told me na, uy, nag-inaano ko nito, like, ini-invite to join their own group for DNV. So, there's plenty of clients to go around. I always tell that to people. And that's why also, kahit sa mga clients ko in the VA industry, I'm not stingy with recommending people. 'Cause there's a lot to go around, you know? Like, hindi naman yun problema. Ang ano ko lang is the dodgy behavior to, like, discourage people. And then, you're gonna start an agency and stuff. So that's pretty weird. But we should support other Filipinos, especially people that are hustling here in Spain and stuff because migrating is hard. So as much as possible, like don't bring any hate to it and stuff. Then it's just more of like for me, I don't know. I want the community to be as positive as possible without sugarcoating anything. So if you are saying na, oh my God, yung taxes dito malaki, give me a breakdown. Be informational about it. Okay, magkano ba yung kinikita mo? Magkano yung tinatax sa'yo? May deductions ka ba? Ilan kayo ng family mo nag-move here? Like you have to have more information. Hindi yung sabihin mo lang na ang laki ng tax. Siyempre, yung mga, kung di ka nagbabayad sa Philippines, malaki talaga yung tax nun pagkarating mo dito sa Spain. Mabigat talaga siya. Like for me, yun yung mga times na nagdadalawang isip talaga ako nung nalaman ko yung taxes here in Spain is around 20%. Parang, oh my God, ang laki nun. Then I was computing it in my head. But now that I've realized na, kaya nga din hindi ako 3 years kaagad nung pagkarating ko dito. Hinintay ko muna mga 6 months bago ko nag-renew ng 3 years. Kasi sabi ko, malay ko ba kung mabuhay ako doon, kung gusto ko ba doon, ganon. So, ayun, yun lang naman yung honest 2 cents ko with regards to it. Kasi for me, bawin-bawi siya. Kasi for me, I don't see any where to like, wala akong ibang pathway to another country, ganon. And I don't think I will be sane living in the Philippines, especially kasi ako I'm very much I'm pretty much outspoken kahit here sa page ko. Me in real life, I'm outspoken about my political views. And for me, it affects me mentally. I'm not that mentally strong, I guess. With regards to suffering of other people. Sobrang ano ko kasing empath. So, whenever I see news, bad news after another, yun, medyo mahirap-hirap. So, that's why I was also MIA for pretty much all of March. Kasi, when the war broke out and stuff. And my partner's family not necessarily lives, around those war zones, but they're Arabs. So I know that there's gonna be a lot more. It's not even Islamophobic. They're not like Muslim, but there's not a lot of more Arab hate and stuff like that. So ayun lang. Nag-share ng sadness sa mundo. Charis. Ayun. Pwede po ba isama yung bonuses para ma-meet yung income rec? It depends. So technically, yes. But the problem is how you will structure it with your client. If makakausap mo sa client to tell you like, can you maybe since ito yung lagi kong bonus, pwedeng i-add siya or something. So depende siya sa paano mo i-structure and kung mabait ba si client. Kasi to be honest, with the DNV process, it really varies yung ano mo, yung success nung application mo, kung gaano ka supportive yung client mo with your endeavor. Ayun. So, that's pretty much important. Ayan. Seeing tax discussion also. Kung di ka evader dito sa PH, same lang. Mas may impact pa sa Spain. That's what I mean. Kasi for me, a person that's like, I don't know, don't want to give the government my money or whatever. Ganun ako, yung mindset ko. But you have to pay taxes because you don't want to go to jail. I'm scared. But here in Spain, wow, grabe, ramdam mo talaga siya. Like, I'm telling you guys, nung sa Philippines, parang wala talaga akong nasa-save. Kasi every other time, kailangan ko punta ng ospital, ganon. Not a sakitin na person, but because of our nature of work, na graveyard and stuff, I think my immune system got really damaged. Tapos, di ba, yung pandemic and all that. So, ayun. I would go visit the hospital every now and then wala na naman yung savings ko, ganyan. So, ang sad lang kasi my dad is also a very hardworking person. So one of the hardest working person I've ever met. And parang ang sad lang na when he got the stroke, he's been working a lot then on and very bad hours then ganyan and pushing himself too hard. And then I realized na wala talagang safety net. So parang you work hard for nothing really. So parang kung if I'm gonna work hard, ganon, and exert myself, at least I have to have a backup plan. So parang yun yung backup plan ko na if you're here and you're paying social security, as long as tapos na yung 1 year mo, you can get unemployment benefits, you can get accidental benefits, and accidental unemployment benefits na makakatulong talaga sa'yo. Like, crazy. I know. Pero, like, makatulong sa'yo. Kasi yung sa SSS, ang bibigay lang sa'yo mga 1,000. Kung marating 1,000, parang di pa enough para sa buong week mo na pagkain. So, parang, alam mo yun, yung mga ganon, usually yung nasa thoughts ko. And, I come from a family na, we're not like poor, but we didn't have much. Alam mo yun? Like, um, they tried their best to provide for all of us kasi maybe I'm an only kid. Halos lahat kami magpipinsan only kid, but we all grew up almost in the same house kinda kasi like all of our parents are OFWs, ganyan. So they would take like parang yung isa muna yung mag-abroad and then yung isa mag-aalaga sa yung mga ganon. So I realized they sacrifice so much and so much time with their kids, na ganon. And I don't want to grow up like that. So me and my dad are really close. And parang it's sad when someone you love, like you see, like especially now that we're older, we see na parang how their life was when they were younger, how much aspirations they probably have. And I just wish to do more with my life, and aim a little higher, especially if I want to have children. Because I think I really want to have children. We're still thinking about it, especially with everything going on with the world. But if I'm gonna have, I need to give them like the leg up like as much as I could, because a stronger passport is about up there for the most like leg up you can give your kid. Na at least they have this option. So if they want to stay in the Philippines, because we are thinking of just staying in the Philippines once maybe the kids are a little bit older, ganyan. If they want to stay there, they could. If they don't wanna, then they if they just wanna travel around the world, they don't have to be burdened by our weak passports. So yun lang yung thoughts ko with regards sa umaba na yung usapan, 'di ba? Mm. Ayun. I just registered my freelance this month with BIR. It's 3 months of taxes and SSS enough for the DNB. And technically, yes, for the proof of self-employed registration. Saan po kayo nag-work? What do you mean saan ako nag-work? So, I don't work here in Spain, ha? So, I still work with remote clients. I just registered my, okay, I just answered this, I think. Um, Just join po. Sorry if ulit tanong. After approval, book flight to Spain na ba kaagad? In the application form, if mag-a-apply kayo ng DNB sa consulate, nakalagay doon kung ano yung parang kailan nyo balak pumunta sa Spain. So if you want to put doon is 3 months after your application or your lodging date, that's fine. But I would say na huwag masyadong matagal. Kasi malay ba nila kung ano ka pa nun. Like, tawag dito, kung employed ka pa, 'di ba? So medyo may ganun sila eh. There's no like fixed rule of this, but definitely 3 months is the safe way to go. Sabi nila 6 months daw, yung pinaka earliest you can apply from your flight date. But I would say 3 months is also a good ballpark na you can give. Ayun. At least libre healthcare. Medyo mahal lang yung Social Security, but for your retirement naman. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also has something to do with not just yung libre yung healthcare, but a lot of things here are just well integrated. Alam mo yun? Parang napag-isipan. Ang daming bagay na napag-isipan na bakit kaya wala 'to sa Pilipinas, yung mga gano'n. One of the things that I really like about Barcelona, nawala dito sa Alicante, which I'm really sad about, is that we have unlimited pass like for 30 days, and 22 euros 'yon. Yung unlimited pass na 'yon gives you access to trams and certain buses. So it's enough to get you around Barcelona kung saan man gustong lupalop pumunta. Here, wala yun sa Alicante, but still, yung pamasahe dito hindi ganun kamahal. If you already have the green card here, kasi depende dito if Joven ka, or like kung mas bata ka ganun, medyo mas mura siya. But parang for 30 sakay, parang 30 na pagsakay. Yeah, 30 na pagsakay, I think it's about almost around 10 to 15 euros yung pagload mo doon sa card. So that means kahit saan ka sumakay, like gaano man kalayo yung stops or gaano kalapit yung stops, the same amount yung mababawas doon. So I would say it's about 0.5 euros for every sakay mo ng bus or ng train. So just make sure itatap mo lang yung card. And walang bayad yung card itself. Talagang iano mo lang siya, sa scan mo lang. Other than that, yung transpo here, of course, we have Cabify, meron din kaming Uber. And I would say, medyo mahal siya sa Grab. Actually, no. You know what? I think same siya ng Grab sa Philippines. Kasi mahal na rin yung Grab ngayon eh. Pero probably by kilometer, siguro dito, for 2 kilometers, or I would say mga 2-3 kilometers, ganyan. Probably pa yung mga 9 euros, 8 euros, ganon. We don't do Uber Cabify kasi as much kasi we kinda know how like parang we got used to how Barcelona transport system is. But we've recently tried it here in Alicante kasi there were no night buses na going around kasi holiday kahapon. So we were like, oh, not too bad yung price nila. It's kind of cheaper actually than other countries we've visited around the EU. Okay. Ano po airline nyo from Philippines to Madrid? So I did actually come into Barcelona. Ang airline ko ay KLM. So we had a stop at Netherlands. Okay, and then for yung 3 years pay slips, ba pwede to use as proof of 3 years of work experience? Pwede, kaso ang daming documents, be. Baka naman mapagod silang tignan lahat yan. I think same lang naman sa tax sa Pinas kung talagang nagbabayad ka, used to pay around 30K for tax. Exactly. Parang same lang siya ng tax. It's just that yung Social Security sa Philippines ay optional. But here, since autonomo ka and under DNV tayo, kailangan mo talaga siya bayaran. So I think yung Social Security, to be honest, yung nakaka-aray. Ganon. Hi ate, ES has been implemented. Mas mahirap pa na ata pumasok from other Schengen countries. Not Not really. As long as you have your boarding pass. I'm not gonna say like yes, ganon, but we'll wait until this client of mine makapag submit, and we'll see kung tatanggapin nila yung boarding pass and just the certificate from the airline. But so far they stopped giving out declaración de entrada if type B yung ano mo, which is usually type B yung tourist visa. So we'll see muna. Let's try to do a little bit of research about it. Seeing taxes, okay. I think we did this. Wala po siyang stopover in Asia, as in PH to Netherlands. Oh, actually we did. We stopped in Taiwan, I think. Yeah, we stopped in Taiwan. Ate, what happens or what do you do if mawalan ka ng client and hindi na ma-meet yung minimum income requirements? So, what I used to tell people is that technically how it works just to think about it. Paano siya gumagana? Yung distinguish nila ng visa mo if mawalan ka ng client. You still have to tell them. So you still have to notify UHE na, hey UHE, hindi na ako na namimit yung minimum income requirement. Ganyan. Tapos sasabihin nila, okay, extinguish na yung visa mo. So technically speaking, don't have a way to like track it, but they do recently start being stricter with the taxes and the registration for autonomy and social security. So that's why I tell people it's important to have savings coming here. So para at least kahit mawalan ka ng client and stuff, makapagbayad ka pa din ng social security and taxes. So just make sure you're up to date with that. But definitely you have 30 days to find a client. And if wala pa din and magpa-filing na ng quarter for taxes, wala kang income for that then magkakaproblema ka talaga. Ayun. Other than that, okay, I think I've answered this. What's your biggest culture shock? Culture shock here in Spain? Well, it varies. First, my biggest culture shock siguro in general here in Spain is yung pagbukas at pagsara ng mga shops. So, some shops here, wait lang, open ko lang yung bintana. Para may hangin. Parang bigla akong nainitan. But yung culture shock ko here is that usually kasi when I used to live in Manila, graveyard shift ako. So, ang gising ko usually is around mga 1 p.m. Tapos gutom na ako by mga 3. So, punta na ako na maghanap ng makakain na magluluto. But of course, my few days here, hirap ako nun na i-regulate pa yung tulog ko. So, gigising ako ng 3 p.m. dito. And then, siesta lahat. So, sarado lahat ng mga kainan, ganyan. And I think yun yung common theme ng culture shock ko here. I'm still not, well, technically, my partner has been in the EU for a longer time than me. So, he does regulate me a lot with regards na sarado sa Sunday yung grocery, nakabili ka na ba ng pagkain mo for Sunday, yung parang ganon. The problem though is that Barcelona is a city, so everything remains pretty much open. Like, or at least meron ka talagang, may mga open pa din. So, open naman yung mga kainan, ganon. Pero kanyari kung
luto ka lang sa bahay, ganyan. Or may kailangan ka from the shop, sarado siya ng Sunday. So, yun. And I think another thing is that they take holidays serious here. So, if holiday, ako ngayon, may automation na ako for the kalendaryo laboral. Na kailangan, notify ako na, tomorrow, sarado, or holidays, ganyan. Kasi, you really need it para ma-remind ka na, okay, tomorrow, wala masyadong bus, tomorrow, ganun. Which I think is good, because that means, hindi sila nag-overexploit. So, think about it like, on Christmas, people are actually with their families. They're not stuck working because they're getting paid a livable wage. Hindi nila kailangan mag-over hours to just meet, like their needs. Which I think is a plus. Because I always feel like it's it's kind of sad na, for example, punta ka ng Jollibee, may taga-bukas ng alam mo yun, ng pinto. Like, what is that job for really? Alam mo yun, parang like, hindi naman need yun. So, dito, like, bihira sa Europe, makakita ka ng mga ganon. There are some, but mostly they're just more of like guard talaga. Like, check yung bag mo, ganyan. Pero, usually sa mga big establishments lang yun. So, hindi lahat may guard, ganon. Ayun. Wait. So, I need to do the puzzle daw ng TikTok. Okay. Other than that, okay. Me read another. May I know po ano po remote work nyo currently? I'm still a web developer. I do a little bit of product management here and there. So, product management, paano ko ba siya i-explain? So, basically, think about it this way. I hold other web developers. Parang TL ako ng web developers, but not really. It's more of a project manager. So, for example, we have a project to develop an app or develop a complicated automated system. And I put the pieces together. So, someone works on this, someone works on that, and I like make sure, okay, this person is on time. Ano yung unang So, ako yung gumagawa ng parang drawing board, okay, what's the workflow for us, and ako yung nag-check double check nung code, and kind of piece them back together. Kind of a little bit of a problem solver here and there. And mostly ako yung humaharap sa clients to talk to them about ano ba yung gusto mo sa app mo, ano ba yung gagawin dito sa app mo or sa website mo. And I kind of give them the vision. I also do the kind of like the mock-ups for the designs and stuff like that. But usually someone else does that in the team as well. But it's just that in this job, I kind of do that too. So, ayun. I hope that clearly explains what I do, but it's kind of weird. I'm thinking of transitioning to something a little bit more challenging. So I'm doing vibe coding classes and thinking of going through a little bit of maybe AI engineering, but we'll see. We'll see. mm, mhm. Paano pag bumaba income mo at tumaas yung income requirements? Do you have to inform UHE? Technically, you have to be meeting the minimum income requirement per year pag tumataas siya. But if, like I said, I think I answered this before, like pag sobrang baba nung dip, kailangan mo na talaga siyang sabihan sa UHE. Pero yung wala ka nang pumapasok na income, wala ka nang ma-file na tax, or hindi mo na mabayaran yung social security. But if carry naman, then I would suggest just continue doing that. Okay. Okay. My coworkers are all Spanish. I wanna work there as well. Oh, you can. Soon. Let's manifest it. Medyo, ako, all over the place today yung itsura ng buhok ko. Hindi ko alam kung anong nangyayari. This helped a lot on planning. Oh, thank you so much. Ilan po need kitain in order to apply for digital nomad visa? So it varies kung gaano kalaki yung family mo. We have it on the website, which is the link is in my bio, but definitely it's 2,849 euros for one
main applicant that's allowed yan na multiple clients, and that's gross, which is before taxes. Mm, next natin. Ate, 'pag ba DNV holder ka na 3 years, hindi ka na ba affected ng annual income increase? Hopefully, 'pag DNV holder ka na for more than that, then makapag-apply ka na for citizenship. Yeah, but definitely ang mostly affected ng 'pag nag-fluctuate is that 'pag magre-renew ka. Kasi 'pag magre-renew ka, iche-check ulit nila yung payslips mo and stuff. But otherwise, you have to inform them 'pag bumababa na yung income requirement. Okay. Hi, kaka-join lang. Pwede po ba ang entrepreneurs? Yes, but you still have to be kind of like employed by your own corporation. So, dapat hindi nakapangalan sa yung company. Or hindi makikita sa documents na nakapangalan sa yung company. Pwede po remote work pero full-time sa employer. Do I need to register sa BIR or something? Yes. So, pwede naman yung remote work. Pwede ka ding full-time basta na-meet mo yung other requirements. Yes, you need to register because you need a proof of self-employed registration. About every quarter tax filing, nagpapasa pa rin ba ng invoices just to justify na meet pa rin yung rec? Yeah, so pinapasa mo yung, basically yung sa income tax filing, I don't know if you guys have filed taxes in the Philippines, but it's pretty much the same. Either sasabihin mo lang doon sa tax accountant mo magkano yung kinikita mo, or if is papasa mo lang sa kanya yung invoices mo or yung receipts. So, yun siya yung magkukuwenta na nun. Anyway, that's what I do. Kung ikaw yung magfa-file, di kailangan lang alam mo yung um, additional documentations. Also, is there a chance to be granted with a visa with a 5-digit amount lang sa bank? Yes, so hindi naman important yung savings. Ang nakikita nila, ang tinitingnan nila is yung pasok ng income mo. So, not necessarily your savings. But I recommend to have savings when you're coming here. Paano pag di naman nawalan ng job pero nabawasan lang kasi hourly paid ako? I think that should be fine. I don't think they like look at every single person. I don't even think they have enough manpower for that. But definitely ask your tax accountant about it. But I think it shouldn't be a problem with that kasi wala naman akong client. May mga clients ako na nag-dip. Hindi naman sila nagkakaproblema. Then kung mag-apply this August, di ba ghost month sa Spain nun? Baka unavailable mga tao. Can you suggest the best time? There's no best time to apply. However, there are months that you need to avoid, like July and August, because there are slow processing times, everybody's on vacation, so short staff sila, and kasabay mo yung mga nagmamadali for their application sa student visa. However, dun sa December, January, that's also a bad month because there are a lot of parang hindi naman siya holidays officially, but it's still a holiday. So those are the months I would avoid, but other than that, wala namang problema yung other months. How do you pay yung Social Security? In cash or pwede CC? So, it actually gets deducted from your account directly. So, parang direct debit. Tama ba? Direct debit. Some accountants here have to give me the correct word. Yeah, parang direct debit siya dun sa account mo. How do you pay? Okay. You make everything look so easy. Ay, hindi. Eh, hindi yan totoo, be. I swear to God, I know someone na earns a lot and is also in the same niche as me. She's a very good friend, and I'm like, wow, this person has like 10 of my brain cells. Like parang 10 of my brains combined. With isang dependent, it should be 3,917 euros per month. This is if you have one dependent. Have you had successful clients na hindi na meet yung income requirements per kinaya ng savings? Yes. Of course. I won't that, like I always say, I don't recommend it unless I've tried it personally or I know someone that tried it or my clients have tried it. So I always tell you dun sa free consultation calls the risk, but it's your prerogative. If gusto mo i-risk yun, wala namang problema yun sa akin because that just means I have to strengthen yung case mo, like legal letters wise and explain it properly. But yeah, we've had successful applications. Just recently, it was a family of four. So bale tatlo yung kids niya and they're missing about 300 euros and nakapasa naman. So I think it depends per situation. What I definitely recommend is dapat yung shortcome mo is that isa o dalawa lang yung client mo and then konti lang yung shortfall mo. Because otherwise, it would be like parang gahol na gahol ka na sa oras, like parang you're working too many hours and then hindi pa din nare-reach yung minimum income requirement, maging problema siya. And trust me, it's not gonna be sustainable in the long term here in Spain. Because I am also a freelancer. So that's why I tell people this, hindi to stable and hindi to good for you to have this amount of clients just to meet the minimum income requirement. And ang daming like so many clients. So I think what your next step should be is to upskill or to find better clients or high paying like, niches. Kasi otherwise parang ang hirap na mag alam mo yun, parang ngaragin yung sarili mo with this, especially dun sa 2 years. Kasi ang always ano ko sa mga tao is that I want to make sure your case or your profile is sustainable for the 2 years. Kasi kung citizenship yung habol mo, I don't want you to be halfway through here, nakapagbayad ka ng taxes, social security, you depleted your savings, you've moved here, and then it's going for nothing. So that's why then, kasi with my clients, I give them my info even after the application. So we still talk on WhatsApp, ako yung kausap nila niyan, ganyan. So I feel in charge, not in charge. I feel responsible for even yung nakapasa na sila. Alam mo yun? So, that's why I don't record this na nali-nali. And also, that's why I have the 50% actually na refund. Not necessarily na, 50% refund for marketing purposes, but it's more of like, this is what I'm putting in the line for. This is like, I don't accept clients unless it's like, sure. Alam mo yun, I will tell you the risk as much as possible. Hindi kita like gogoyoin. Kasi, I want to run Athens Spain in a way na needs makes me sleep at night, if that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. How do you pay? Okay. Do you suggest all document na naka-apostle and translated na before apply sa Spain? Yes. With my clients, what we do is dapat 3 weeks or a month before, if ito yung perfect timeline like around maybe a month or 3 weeks before na ipasa na sa sworn translator. And that means wala na silang inaasikaso na documents. So, ang kulang na lang invoices, bank statements, yung mga forms na madali naman on my end na yon. And then, the moment they arrive here, meron na din yung invoices and bank statements nila before yung flight. We have a call before their flight para lang alam nila kung ano yung gagawin nila before. And then, pagkarating dito, they just give me the stamp and their passport, yung phone number nila na temporary, and then I'm good to go to submit it. So, as much as possible para din kuhang-kuha mo yung buong, ano mo, like, ang tawag dito? Like, Schengen visa days mo. Yes. Ayun. Do you offer assistance po and how much? So we do have it on the website. It depends on what service you're gonna get. If it's an application, if it's like full-on assistance, mga ganon. It's definitely on the website. It's 579 euros yung pinakamataas namin na tier, basically. Redundant, is there anything? Okay, ayun. I think na bababa na ulit tayo. Okay, so this one is, dapat match po ba yung income at contribution mo sa SSS? Well, with the SSS certificate of contributions, it doesn't show kung magkano yung kinocontribute mo. So, kahit minimum lang yung pinapakontribute ko sa clients, that's fine. Other than that, hi, do you assist with non-lucrative visa applications? We are gonna launch it probably at the end of the month. We just had some practice um application. So instead of people doing it DIY, I was like, okay, let me help you a little bit until I get used to the NLV application. And yeah, we're launching it later on this month. Hopefully it will all be ready for NLV then, because a lot of people ask me about it. Mm, Pwede remote work pero full-time sa employer. I think I've answered this before. And then, saan pa maganda magstay sa Spain? Yung halos English sana. I don't recommend that you move here with the thought of, oh, I'm not gonna learn Spanish. With my clients, I always tell them, ang pinakauna mong gagawin, ako yung problema with some of your documents. But you have to problemahin yung pagma-migrate mo dito. You have to study Spanish as early as you can, especially if you're aiming for citizenship. You need to pass A2 level. And what's the point kasi, di ba, of staying here if you can't? It's gonna be hard because I understand yung English. People will be like nice to you and will speak English when they can. However, if, for example, government places, especially if makita nila sa TM mo na ang tagal mo na dito and you still haven't learned Spanish, you will definitely, you know, give off bad vibes to them. So, for your life to be easier here, just learn A2 Spanish. Like, kahit ganun lang. Like, parang makapag-order ka lang. 'Di ba? Na level. Like, ganung level. Makapagtanong ka lang kung ano yung kailangan mong itanong. Hindi naman kailangan na full-on conversational. So, there's not a place here that's fully English. But of course, the places where a lot of immigrants are, usually, maraming mga English speaking doon. But definitely, it would be the places na medyo mahal. Like, mga cities. Kasi doon yung maraming mga foreigners, ganyan. Other than that, okay. Think. Okay, how about yung combined income for spouses? Wala pa talaga. Wala pa update dyan. How do you like living in Spain? Really like it. I mean, I don't think I would. I'm the type of person na if it's not gonna work out, I'm gonna bail. Like very early on. Hindi ako yung takot sa sunken cost. I'm like, okay, like I guess it's not gonna work out, ganon. So that's why I didn't go from 1 year, tas pagkarating dito, 3 years kaagad. I waited for a while if I really wanted to stay here before I wanted to commit to the 3 year. Which is a bad call on my part. So do as I say, not as I do. So dapat yun. So yun yung ano ko sa clients ko na ganon. Dapat 3 years na kaagad para counted for residency for the citizenship. Kasi otherwise yung sa akin, parang 6 months din yung hindi na count. So ayun, definitely I really love living here. It's just my head is quieter with living here. I don't know how to explain that, but my brain is just quiet. If you watch Yenny, she's very good at articulating yung life and experience here in Spain. Ako kasi I'm like pretty bad at that. I don't know why, but ako kasi yung ano, like parang very thankful for everything. Yun, na parang na para bang hindi ko siya ma-articulate. I'm just like so happy to be here. I can't believe I'm here. Like, especially coming from where I was. Like, I would have never believed I would be here and would be getting the citizenship soon. Hopefully, the world doesn't burn and end before getting to experience to live life and have a family and everything. But ayun, I really like it here. I think the only good way to say it is just that it's parang ano kasi siya eh. I mean, with the weather and everything, maybe parang medyo cooler na Philippines. And everything is just more thought off. Parang napag-isipan, gano'n. Like how they build their houses, how they build their parks, yung mga gano'n, like their laws, like their rules on stuff. Parang it just makes sense talaga. Like rather than, parang putyo-putyo. Putyo-putyo. Ewan ko if alam niyo yung term na yun. Um, of course, the bureaucracy here is a feat of its own. But it's not as bad as the Philippines. At least here it gets done. Yeah, medyo matagal, but at least it gets done. You just have to have a little bit more pasensya. But sa Philippines, like, binigyan mo na ng pasensya tsaka binigyan mo ng padulas at everything, di pa rin, alam mo yun, di pa rin tama yung nangyari. So, yun lang yung ano ko, yung qualms ko over it. And, just overall, I think there's a reason why a lot of people are moving here. There are some people that probably don't think Spain is as good as I think it is. People are pretty vocal on our group about it. But iniisip ko talaga parang it varies din talaga sa experience and what did you expect coming here? Like, expect mo ba na same lang siya, na ganun lang din yung presyo? Of course not. Spain is a first world country after all. So, you have to also keep that in mind. What do you mean for about 10 years? Registered with DTI and BT. Okay, that's good. How early? If I apply here sa PH for 1 year, how early can I reapply sa Spain? 60 days before the expiration of your 1 year. Nag-aral po ba kayo ng Spanish before moving there? No. So that's why my transition was hard. So that's why I always advise people to learn at least a little bit of Spanish, at least enough to know if it's going good yung conversation or minumura na ba kayo, yung mga ganon. Hi, Ma'am Alex. I'm an employee of my mom's business, sole proprietorship business, no SEC registration. But over 10 years na to, no? So I think that's fine. Wala namang problema yon since it's under your mom's name. Grabe dami pong viewers. Oo nga, Shaina. Kanina pa kasi ako dito. Naipon na sila yan. Na-miss niyo ba ako? Nag-assume. Nag-assume. Na-miss niyo ba ako? Kasi ang tagal ko nang hindi nagla-live. Sorry na. Promise, pag hindi na talaga ako mamamatay sa kabisihan, I will want to do more lives. And to be honest, ang sabi nung partner ko, maybe you should do a live on the beach. So you guys can see how beautiful Alicante is. It's so pretty, guys. Like, I cannot believe I live here. Parang ganun yung feeling ko talaga, going to the beach this week. Hi ate, house tour please. Ayoko nga, house tour pa, paglilinisin mo pa ako ng bahay. Charis. Maybe. Maybe I'll do a house tour when the last of our boxes arrive and the last of our Amazon boxes arrive then. Probably I'll do a house tour kasi we don't have hangers for our clothing. So right now our clothing is in a basket and in our luggage pa din. So we're still dealing with that. Ang dami namin hindi dinala, to be honest, from Barcelona. We tried to sell it on Wallapop, yung iba, pero wala na rin kasi kaming time. So, they're just sitting in a room somewhere on our sister-in-law's, on my sister-in-law's house. Until kailan po yung program na yan, sis? So far, wala naman. Hindi naman nila sinasabi na, tama na yung DNV. Wala pa namang ganon. Anong oras na po dyan, ate? It's 2:30 p.m. Do you guys wanna see outside? It's very sunny right now. Ta-da! It's very sunny. Ganun. Tapos nahulaan yun, no, kung saan ako nakatira. Huwag niyo ako i-dox, sasakalin ko kayo. Charis. Citizen na po ba kayo dyan? Not yet, but hopefully soon. I'm taking my CCSE exam on my second year count from arriving here in Spain. So I'm taking it kasi on July. After residency, how many years for citizenship? you only need 2 years of residency. So pagkarating mo dito, apply ka for DNV, na-approve ka, kuha ka ng TIE, it starts the count na kung ano yung nasa TIE mo. So, that's 2 years of residency kasi residency na yung makukuha mo with the DNV. And then, you can apply for Spanish citizenship. Pag nakapasa ka na ng CCSE exam and DELE A2 exam, which is a language exam. Um, okay. So A2 is basically it starts pinaka-basic is A1 and then A2 and then B1, B2, C1, C2. So C2 yung pinakamataas. Should all the dependents need to pass A2 Spanish level to get Spanish citizenship? Yes and no. Yes for all adults. No for kids. So hindi kailangan mag-exam ng kids, just the adults. Um um Hiring po ba kayo? Sana, I wish. I wish ate in Spain is lucrative enough to be hiring. It's just, I don't know. It's not as lucrative as you guys think it is, to be honest. But, it's a passion project kasi. So, I try to pour as much as I can into it. But, ayun. But hopefully, it will be, evolve into bigger, better things and employ ko kayo tapos dalhin ko kayo lahat di charis. Sana all, no? Sana all mayaman. Sa filing of taxes annually, need pa ba payslips and or COE? Kailangan ng payslips. So, yung payslips mo yung pinapakita per quarter. And then, for annual, kailangan ng mga resibo ng mga nagastos mo. So, kung may mga annual subscriptions ka, ganyan. Oh, so availing your services would mean na ikaw po magpapasa ng docs while enjoying as a tourist. Oo, basically ako yung i-stressin niyo siya. Ako yung may stress for you guys. I-stressin ko lang kayo probably a little bit of personal appearance for your NBI clearance, mga ganon. Asking more about your clients. We'll check together yung mga documents you have with the client, ganyan. But definitely, I try my best to not stress you out, guys, with the documents, ganon. But a lot of clients actually recently, parang tapos na yung documents nila nung nag-sign up. I think I think they think kasi because of the price, because yung competitors ko usually times, 3 times, 4 times the price. So I think they thought na parang DIY yung gagawin nila but just me reviewing their documents, which is weird. But yeah, guys, from beginning to end yung consultation. So, from getting your NIE, giving you instructions, paano ka pumunta doon, ano yung madadalhin mo, ito yung mga forms na kailangan mong dalhin, i-print mo. Ganon, na-fill upan ko na yon yung mga ganon. So, everything from step by step, ano yung kailangan mong kunin, saan ka dapat pumunta, paano kunin yung SSS, ano yung sample niya, mga templates, ano yung mga kailangan makita sa contracts, yung mga ganon. It's all included and it's all outlined on the website and on the contract that I give before payment. But definitely, ang first step is to get on a free consultation call. So, I would know muna kung, like, we vibe. Alam mo yan? We vibe and all that. Pwede po ba pagkatapos mag-submit sa OHE, mag-tour around EU, tapos balik sa Spain after? Yes. So, basta bumalik ka na ng Spain, pag paano na yung ano mo, pag pa-expire na yung Schengen visa mo. Apartment tour. Hoy, RA, wag ka nga nanonood dyan, nahiya tuloy ako. Apartment tour pa nga, hindi pa nga tapos maglinis ng bahay. Magulo pa yung bahay namin, guys. Kasi ang dami pa namin gamit. My God. See, ayan nga, yung mga upuan nandiyan pa sa tabi-tabi. Charis. Oh, thank you so much, Chike. Super hassle-free pag meron si ate. Oh, thank you. Let's say twice a year po ba allowed? Twice a year yung ano, wait. I didn't ano yung question mo, JBB online shop? Full-time ka na doing this? Doing ano po? Need po ba diploma or grad if mag-digital nomad sa Spain? Not necessarily if you have 3 years work experience. Ate, nung nasa SG kami, once a month nakakauwi kami Pinas. Pag DNV holder ka na ba, ilang days ka alaw? Okay. So, pwede, so how it works is, wala kasing binibigay na actual days yung para sa application ng citizenship. But if we're aiming for citizenship, ang finalo ko na computation is for mga permanent resident. For you to apply permanent resident kasi here, you need 5 years. And sa 5 years na yon, dapat no more than 10 months ka na sa labas ng Spain. Ngayon, since 2 years lang yung hinihingi sa ating residency for citizenship, I would assume it should be less than that para makita nila na nag-i-integrate ka talaga here in Spain. So, instead na parang 60 days, I would say kahit siguro mga 40, 45 days ka lang dapat lumalabas ng bansa per year para hindi, para makita nila na your life is here. Kasi if you're thinking na, ba't ka nila bibigyan ng citizenship if you seem like nung resident ka pa lang, hindi ka naman masyado nag-stay here or hindi ka naman integrated fully here in Spain. So, why would they want you to be a part of their country, di ba? So, parang kailangan mo rin kasing ganun eh. Makita na na-integrate ka talaga dito. Yes. Sana makapag-aral ako accounting dyan para may HESTOR na kayo. Actually, lovely. Ang dami ko actually accounting na client yung niche. And I always tell them that na baka naman pwedeng aralin mo na para maka-discount naman ako sa'yo. Charis, nag-aas na agad ng discount pa nag-start yung business. Ano ba yan? Ayun. How are people in Spain? Are they more alive and lively? It would depend. So, probably not as friendly as Filipinos. But to be honest with Philippines kasi parang hindi na rin ganun ka-lively yung mga people eh. Hindi na rin sila yung randomly ka kinakausap, ganun. Parang everyone is alta-alta na hindi nakikipag-usap, ganyan. But, I would say, out of all the European countries we've been to, Spain has gotta be the warmest people we've met. Like as in, like it makes sense why they're known for that. Um, just in everyday stuff, like people just talk to you randomly. They can clearly see, especially me, na I'm not Spanish, but they would try to speak Spanish to you just for casual conversation. Parang kunyari today, nung pauwi kami, ay nung galing kami ng grocery, di ba? Sa mga maaga-aga dumating ng live. Magaling kaming grocery kanina. Tapos parang maliit lang kasi yung kinuha namin kasi wala kaming coins. So hindi kami makakuha ng malaking trolley. And then an old lady was coming up to us nung pataas na kami nung parang flat na escalator. Nung pataas kami na parang kinakausap niya kami na oh, nahuhulog yung mga gamit niyo, ganyan, kung ganito kadami yung bibilin niyo. Like, nagtagalog. Siyempre, nag-Espanyol siya. Kung ganito kadami yung gamit niyo, like, dapat nagtotrolley kayo, ganyan. Tapos, while I don't speak Spanish very well, parang sobrang nun, like, nakaka-touch, that they're very nice. And actually, ang always defense mechanism ko, especially yung partner ko, has been in Germany for like more than 7 years. So, ang always, assumption niya is, if someone's gonna talk to him is something na may maling ginawa or may kailangan ayusin, something like that. So, medyo, like, napa-tension nun. Tapos parang, yung parang lang siya, oh, yung mga gamit nyo, like hindi na kasya dito sa maliit na dapat kumuha kayo naman. Tapos, inuturo niya sa amin, like, hey, eto, dito kayo kukuha, ganyan. Tapos, parang ina-explain ko sa kanya, wala kasi kaming, coin and stuff. Tapos, parang, pwede palang kumuha ng coin doon sa may parang yung guard doon sa gilid, na parang fake coin yun. Tas yun yung i-insert on, ganun. So, parang they're just like so warm and so nice. And parang, I don't know, parang they're like, especially the old people here, which is usually anyway in like Northern Europe or here, other part of Europe, Western Europe. God, I can't with geography. But like here on Germany, Netherlands, mga ganyan, most of the time, old people are like not warm. They're just like parang mas masungit pa yun sa mga parang parang they want you, parang mag-o-offer ka lang ng seat, na paupuin mo sila, parang they're gonna make a big deal out of it. So, ayun, parang they're just so nice here. And to give that off, kasi sobrang nice nila dito, guys. We have to start learning Spanish and try to be like nice din. Like, wag tayong madala nung hiya natin na, oh, baka mali yung Spanish ko, baka di ako maintindihan, or ba't pa ako mag-hello, baka kausapin pa ako, nahiya ako, baka akala alam ko mag-Spanish, gano'n. Wag kayong matakot na gano'n. Like, just, it's better na to put yourself out there. Like, tuwing may makasalubong, hola, buenas, ganon. Like, di ba, buenas tardes, ganyan. Pag sasakay ng Uber, like, di ba, parang kailangan lagi mo silang batiin din. Para then, whatever positivity you're also putting out. Kasi foreigners are known. Like, especially here, sa Spain, they don't like Americans, British people, kasi they're very high-nosy. Na parang, ba't kita kausapin? Ganito. Yung parang ganun sila, avoidant. So, let's not be that. Let's try to be also warm. Kasi they're like, well, very welcoming. Alam mo yon, like, very welcoming na nga sila eh. Of course, there are bad instances here and there. I've heard people talk about it. I've heard clients talk about it. But for me, let's just try to put out the good karma there. You know, it's gonna come back to us somehow. And if someone does a bad thing, you know, they do a lot of like ching chong, ganyan here and there. There's usually it's homeless people who does that, by the way. So like, why kayo maapektuhan nung mga homeless people doing like those comments? So, ayun. That's my take on this, on people in Spain. Here though, I've noticed talagang older people yung super nice. Yeah, but probably the younger generation, medyo mas, ano dun sila, like, lagi nasa phone, ganyan, which is normal. I mean, it's like that too in the Philippines. But, yeah, it's nice here. They're very welcoming and they try to speak Spanish din sa'yo. Assuming na alam mo yung Spanish. Alam mo yun? Na-assume nila lagi na alam mo yung Spanish. So, it's good to have at least a few arsenals of Spanish before coming here. Pero hindi naman yun kailangan for the application itself, diba? Pa-shoutout po from Madrid. Hi, Alexis. Uy, katokayo pala tayo eh. Alex ka din pala eh. May physical job po ba kayo dyan? Wala po. Done na pa kayo sa DELE exam? Mahirap po ba maipasa? I'm not done with DELE exam, but also because I'm trying to get to B1 level at least. Ewan ko if delulu lang ba ako. Should I? Let's vote in the comments kung dapat ko pa bang idelulu yung sarili ko for B1. Trying to do like B1, but hopefully will take the A2 exam then. Tapos ko lang siguro yung CCSE and then I'll take probably after a month or two yung A2 exam if hindi ko talaga ma-push yung B1. But right now I'm on classes, so hopefully that improves and something. I think I really need to also this move to Alicante was a much needed parang getting out of my comfort zone and learning going out again, ganyan. And of course my friends are here, they're very nearby. Actually, they're too near. Masyado silang malapit. Parang wala na kaming matapos na trabaho. Ayun. But definitely, di pa mahirap mag-apply ng tourist visa dyan? May invitation po ako from friends sa Spain. So you have to just apply for a visit visa. So kung may carta de invitation ka, so you should have no problems. Ate, si Miss Yanni nag-exam na. Sabi niya easy. Yeah, definitely. Yun nga din sabi niya. Hello, ano po maganda? Valencia, Alicante, or Malaga po? It really depends on you kung ano yung pros and cons. Ang init na masakit na sa balat. Totoo ba? Parang hindi naman. Grabe kayo ah. Parang di kayo galing sa Pilipinas ah. Kaya natin to. Kaya natin yung init dito. I came from Tuguegarao, which is like the hottest city in, you probably only know of Tuguegarao sa Philippines. based on sa heat index, dun yung laging, ito yung na place to sa, ano, sa Pilipinas. So yeah, I'm not, um, afraid of the sun, and I like getting tanned. We are actually like, me, my partner and I always bully each other about, um, not getting tanned in the sun kasi siyang, an- he's Syrian, so he is very white-skinned. Pero hindi siya nagtatan. But sabi yung tatan daw siya, but I have yet seen. We've been to different places in the Philippines, and he has yet, parang lagi siyang sunog, hindi tan. So, we're always like joking, na I have good, melanin, cells in me. But so far, ang dito ha sa Alicante, ang ganda ng weather kasi maliwanag, may sun, and parang mataas yung sikat ng araw. Pero pag lumabas ka, medyo malamig pa din. Malamig pa din, tapos mahangin. So, hindi kayong sobrang init niya, ganon. Bakit po kayo nag-decide to move to Alicante? Well, first, we didn't have a choice. We had to move because they're doing, I'm sorry guys, they're doing, I swear, I need to find my tripod. Kasi wala akong tripod for today's live. But first, we didn't have a choice. We had to move out of our apartment kasi re-renovate yung buong building, apparently. And that usually means, I mean, you know exactly what that means. Kahit sa Philippines, that usually means magmamahal yung rent. And our location was really good in Barcelona. So that means it's a rent we probably can't afford. So we were like, okay, I guess we have to move. And then we started looking in Barcelona, and we were like, but like parang hindi ganun ka smart to spend our money like that. Especially ako, kasi hindi man ako nalabas ganun masyado. So, what I thought was, well, we were thinking of moving to Alicante anyways. Ang inisip kasi namin after citizenship, so why not just move now? And, at least if we're paying kind of similar rent, but a better place. Kasi it's a place we actually want to be. Kasi andito yung friends namin, and it's near the beach. We're like one bus away from the beach. The beach. It's like, I think a 10-minute bus, 15-minute bus from the beach. And ang sobrang lapit lang nung bus stop sa amin. Parang isang kanto lang. So, it's like a 3-minute walk. Then yung Mercadona din, 3-minute walk lang. So, parang tinayman ko yung lahat yan, guys. Di ako nagtitiwala kay Google Maps, sa bagal ko maglakad eh. So, tinayman ko talaga siya. So, yeah, that's why we moved. Yan yung pinaka overall thought process. But we've looked to other places before deciding on Alicante. And ito talaga yung, I guess, we really wanted. Ito yung parang pasok sa amin. Obligado maglinis. True. Ma'am, sorry, hindi ko pa narinig yung nasagot yung question. Ano yung question? Alarm talaga every Friday. Yes na, miss. Nag-alarm talaga every Friday. Pero grabe ang fresh niyo po. Nakaka-fresh po ata Alicante. Grabe naman kayo. So, ano yung itsura ko nun? Uy, actually, ang laki ng eye bags ko right now. Kasi parang 1 a.m. na kami nakauwi kagabi. Kasi may mga friends ako na parang mga spawn of evil. Tapos nag-video game kami hanggang anong oras na. Nakala mo wala silang pasok tomorrow. Kala mo wala silang trabahong gagawin. So, ayun. But I love it. It finally some social life. So sobrang saya. Um, how you speak slow down in Spanish? What do you mean, how you speak slow down in Spanish? What does that mean? Ay, of course, ang tagal na pong walang live. Oh, thank you. Thank you for missing me. Thank you for missing me. If Europe-based po ba si client pero hindi po sa Spain, pwede pa rin mag-apply for DNV? Yes, basta hindi sa Spain. Kahit nga sa Philippines, di ba? DIY po kayo, anong consultant masasuggest nyo? I DIY the application, and I do have the DIY guide on my website. The link is in my bio. But definitely, we do free consultations as well. Ask lang po, maganda po ba opportunities in tech po ba sa Spain? Actually, yes. Kasi there are a lot of tech hubs here in Spain. I wouldn't say it's the best in tech yung Spain kasi there is I don't know if I'm just like right now kasi I'm researching for new niches and stuff and upskilling. But there are also like I'm trying to look up EV engineering, like electric vehicle engineering. So mukhang mas madami nun sa other countries like where they create like vehicles, ganyan. Like Mercedes-Benz, ganyan. Sa mga Germany, ganyan. So, I've been researching on that. Wouldn't say, it would depend siguro kung ano yung specific mo na tech stuff. So, hindi pa ka pwede kasi na, pero the thing is, ang dami kasing IT talaga and tech na dito naghahanap. So, I would think you have to niche down kung ano yung niche mo talaga and find the market for it. Kailangan po ba updated all government docs pag lumipat? Tax, healthcare? Yes, but it's not as difficult as you think. To be honest, ang most important part is your padron and your health card because you need to register kung saang hospital ka. Kasi kailangan mo ng bagong general practitioner. So, yun yung important. For me kasi, ang dami kong inim gamot, ganyan-ganyan. So, it would be best to know kung sino yung general practitioner ko. I read something about Beckham Law. Part po ba ng package, I'm being taxed here sa PH kasi. Beckham Law does not qualify mga independent contractors. So it's only for employees. Other than that, it's not part of my package kasi that's for the tax accountant. Next is Oh, thank you so much. Hello po, madam. Me and my husband are both digital nomads. Paano po kaya yung income requirements for this po? You can either apply separately or if abot ng minimum income requirement ng isa sa inyo, the other one can apply under as a dependent. Okay. And then, ma'am, I'm a teacher here in the Philippines. Pwede ba makapag-teach sa Spain? Yes, there are different programs for teachers here. You should follow FARA in Spain. It's FA. Oh my God, I'm not sure if it's 1 hour or 2 hours, but it's Farah in Spain. I follow her, so you could also look into kung sino yung mga fina-follow ko. Yeah, Farah in Spain is here under the auxiliar conversaciones. So parang language exchange. Pwede po ba upper contracts para sa DNV? It depends. But usually, they are accepted naman. Puwede po ba i-take yung CCSE at DELE sa Pinas? Yung DELE, I think yes. Yung CCSE, I don't think so. Magkano po usually ang rent for solo person, not shared po yung space? It would depend sa city. But I would say there are some clients that found sa Extremadura, for example, mga 300 euros for one bedroom. So that's it. But depende siya sa city talaga. Kasi parang meron siyang ano eh, meron niyang off, parang trade-off. Yes, mura yung rent mo, but everything's kind of far from you. Hindi maganda yung transport system. Or you pay a little bit more and everything's kind of walkable distance. So, depende siya. But for people that are moving here alone, I would suggest to, at least for the first 6 months while you're like, ano, parang nag-getting used to everything, I would suggest na hanap ka muna ng parang roommate, like parang shared. Saan po safe mag-apply ng online jobs? Upwork, OLJ, LinkedIn. I mean, that's just don't get scammed. Alam mo yun? Like parang just maging medyo matanglawin when it comes to medyo scammy, ganyan. Is it recommendable also to apply for Spain na student visa? Magastos po kaya? Magastos kasi kailangan mo ng parang locked account. All the best pa sa exam. Oh, thank you so much. See, you guys are so nice. You guys are my good karma in this world. Sobrang dami ano sa akin, nag-give ng good luck and stuff. I'm a UI and UX designer po. Oh, that's nice. Parang di kaya yung cost of living. Yeah, I understand how scary that is. And that's why I tell people it's something na you only can decide. So you have to really do your own research then based on ano yung lifestyle mo and all that. Hi, what about po taxes? Do you pay PH Spain taxes? So I am paying Philippine taxes and paying Spain taxes, I'm filing for taxes in the Philippines, but I don't pay anything. Kasi mas mataas yung taxes here in Spain by a little. So, in-offset niya yung returns ko in the Philippines. Thinking about this for a long time now. Family of four, two kids grade school, earning 160K net monthly. So, with 160K, hindi mo pa kasi hindi siya abot sa minimum income requirement. So, you definitely need to be earning more. So, maybe you need to add more clients or maybe kailangan na taasan yung rate mo. Hmm. What is the best advice to migrate Philippines to Spain for young professionals? It would vary. It would vary on your profile. I would not tell people to take DNV if they have an actual job lined up here in EU or in Spain. But if you are thinking of going here on a student visa, parang same lang din yung gastos mo. And at least ito, free ka to work and makasama mo yung family mo and all that. And they also have allowance to work. So, it varies kasi sa profile and sa pinaka-overall mo, kumbaga, na end goal. Other than that, madami po ba chef na Pinoy sa Spain? Independent po kaya yun? Oo, because I've known friends and I've known also clients na chef and are working now. Lalo sa Barcelona, ang dami doon nag-work sa kusina. Sa mismong like parang chef sila and stuff. So that's really good. So yeah, it's a thing here that a lot of Filipinos also do. Okay. Read about Beckham Law. Sana makatulong din doon. So, it depends if you're an employee, yes, you qualify for Beckham Law, but it's also another application. I don't process for that because as someone that needs to be knowledgeable talaga sa Beckham Law, which are tax accountants, and I hire my own tax accountant. I don't file for my own taxes here in Spain. Follow-up question, yung hourly contract po ba pwede sa DNV? Yes, katakot mag-risk. Baka in the end, parang your life revolves around work na lang just to meet the income requirement and pay taxes. Yeah, that is a real risk talaga when regards here. But another thing kasi that you have to really think about then is if worth it ba yung trade-off of saving all this money and versus getting the citizenship. Not that I'm like comparing kung ano yung the best, but definitely it depends sa lifestyle mo, how big your family is, how much yung ina-earn mo na right now, and if yung lifestyle nyo permits for that. And if Spain is for you, because maybe some people don't really like to live here in Spain. Do you know anyone po na humahawak ng student visa, katulad nyo na humahawak ng DNV? So, it depends. Pwede mo ma-convert yung student visa to DNV. Definitely. However, kailangan may working rights ka. Kung wala kang working rights, that means you cannot convert it. Oh no, mamamatay na yung phone ko. Anong klase po ng Spanish language ang kailangan aralin? It would be A2 level. How much do Hestor normally charge? It's usually around 40 to 70 euros. Can you recommend a Hestor? Yes po. You can just message me. But oh my God, guys, namamatay na yung phone ko. But thank you so much for joining this week's live. But definitely, if you have any questions that maybe I have not answered in this, definitely just comment it on any of my videos.